Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, two of Hollywood's most beloved stars, are facing the biggest scandal of their careers. What seemed like a perfect marriage and a flawless public image is now crumbling under the weight of a $400 million lawsuit. This legal battle, sparked by a disastrous marketing campaign for the film It Ends With Us, has now turned into a courtroom nightmare. But what exactly happened? How did these two A-listers go from Hollywood royalty to embroiled in a mess that could destroy their careers? Let's dive into the jaw-dropping details of the scandal that's rocking Tinseltown. The downfall began when Blake Lively started promoting It Ends With Us, a film about domestic abuse. But instead of emphasizing the serious themes of the story, she marketed it as a lighthearted romance. Fans were furious, and it didn't take long for the backlash to explode online. Lively, instead of addressing the growing outrage, turned the moment into an opportunity to plug her own personal brands, her hair care line, her alcohol brand, and even her fashion choices. Fans found this tone-deaf and manipulative, especially since the film's core message was about serious issues like domestic violence. To make matters worse, Lively doubled down on her approach, using social media and interviews to promote herself, ignoring the real criticism about the film's marketing. This poor decision quickly spiraled into one of the most explosive public relations disasters Hollywood had seen in years. With the marketing backlash threatening her career, Blake Lively took drastic action. She filed a massive lawsuit against Justin Baldoni, the director of It Ends With Us, and his production company, Wayfair Studios, for $250 million. Lively claimed that Baldoni and his team had created a toxic work environment on set and smeared her reputation during filming. But Baldoni wasn't going to take this lying down. In an unexpected twist, Baldoni fired back with a countersuit worth $400 million, accusing Lively and her husband, Ryan Reynolds, of conspiring to hijack the film's production. Baldoni's team argued that Lively had overstepped her role as an actress and tried to take control of the movie's creative direction, even though she wasn't in a position to do so. The stage was set for an all-out legal war, and Hollywood was watching closely to see how this battle would unfold. The drama didn't stop with the lawsuits. The courtroom became the next battleground, and it was clear that Lively was facing an uphill fight. Her legal team pushed hard for a gag order to silence Baldoni's attorney, Brian Fredman, from discussing the case publicly. But the judge wasn't impressed. In a major blow to Lively, the judge denied the request, ruling that the press had a right to access public records. This was a huge setback for Lively, especially as Fredman quickly went on the offensive, accusing her of leaking confidential legal documents to the New York Times. The bombshell expose published by the newspaper took Baldoni's career down a notch, costing him his agent, his podcast, and several future projects. Meanwhile, Lively seemed to walk away unscathed, and her legal team tried to downplay the whole thing. But the cracks were starting to show, and it was clear that this case was far from over. As Baldoni's team mounted their defense, the evidence against Lively grew overwhelming. Baldoni's camp launched a website filled with explosive documents, including text messages, emails, and even video footage, all of which painted Lively as a master manipulator behind the scenes. According to the evidence, Lively wasn't just an actress on the project, she was actively taking over the movie's production. She made unauthorized changes to the script, selected new wardrobe choices, and even took control of the film's music and editing. But that wasn't all. Baldoni's team also presented evidence that suggested Lively had taken matters even further, ignoring the studio's wishes and making decisions as though she were the movie's true director. The more evidence came to light, the harder it became for Lively's legal team to deny the accusations. Lively wasn't just playing a role in It Ends With Us, she was reportedly taking over the entire production. Despite having no official role beyond acting, Lively allegedly rewrote key scenes, made wardrobe changes without permission, and even hired her own team, including a new editor with no prior film editing experience. To make matters worse, she reportedly spent a staggering $500,000 of the film's budget on a new wardrobe, something that was never approved by the studio. Lively also allegedly hired her own composer, completely bypassing the studio's creative choices. The evidence suggests she bulldozed her way into creative control, ignoring the boundaries of her role. This wasn't just an actress trying to bring more depth to her character, it was an all-out takeover of the production process, with no respect for the studio's original vision.
I really I find that fashion is storytelling. It's a way to message so much more than you can with words sometimes. It's a silent way to message things.
In one of the most shocking moves of all, Lively allegedly took a rough cut of the film and flew it to a Colleen Hoover book event, a massive gathering of fans. This was a clear violation of studio protocol, which strictly regulates when and how footage is shown to the public. By screening the unfinished film at this event, Lively risked leaking crucial plot details and spoilers to a massive online audience. The studio had strict distribution agreements in place, and these agreements existed for a reason: to protect the film's release and maintain control over when and where content is shared. But Lively ignored all of that, potentially jeopardizing the film's box office success and damaging relationships with the studio. The stakes were high, and she took a huge risk by acting as though the usual rules didn't apply to her. Things got even worse when Lively allegedly started erasing Justin Baldoni from his own movie. Court documents suggest that she had his name removed from promotional materials, including posters, trailers, and press releases. She also allegedly sidelined him from major promotional events, making it clear that she was taking control of how the movie was marketed to the public. But it didn't stop there. Lively reportedly had Baldoni removed from the red carpet at the film's premiere, making sure he wasn't seen with her during one of the biggest events surrounding the movie's release. This wasn't just about creative differences, it was about taking ownership of the film and pushing Baldoni out of the spotlight entirely. This move shocked the industry, with many questioning how far Lively would go to assert her dominance. When the marketing backlash reached a boiling point, Lively and Reynolds allegedly tried to shift the blame onto Baldoni and his studio. Legal filings reveal that the couple attempted to force Baldoni's team to issue a public apology, taking responsibility for the film's troubled production. But the statement they wanted released was carefully crafted to make it look like Baldoni and Wayfair Studios were the ones responsible for the marketing disaster, clearing Lively of any wrongdoing. In the statement, they claimed they were learning and growing from the experience, while implying that the film's issues were the result of outside factors. But Baldoni and Wayfair Studios refused to release the statement. They knew it was a smokescreen to protect Lively's image, and they weren't going to cave to the pressure. This refusal only made Lively's PR nightmare worse, as the truth about her involvement in the film's disastrous promotion became harder to hide. When Baldoni's team refused to play along, Lively's PR strategy started to fall apart. As the truth came to light, it was revealed that Lively had allegedly been working with the New York Times months earlier to set up a hit piece against Baldoni. Legal documents show that the metadata from certain files proved this collaboration, and the plan seemed simple: frame Baldoni as the villain, shift public perception, and protect Lively's carefully crafted image. But this move backfired spectacularly. The more Baldoni's team exposed the truth, the more Lively's case crumbled. Now, with evidence stacking up against her and her legal tactics failing, it was clear that her attempts to control the media narrative were failing, and fast. With each new revelation, it became clear that Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds were in deep trouble. Hollywood's golden couple, once admired for their charm and power, were now facing the consequences of their actions. Hollywood doesn't forget scandals like this, and career sabotage, manipulation, and deceit on this level are hard to recover from. As the evidence against Lively and Reynolds piles up, many wonder, could this be the end of their reign in Hollywood? Will their names ever be the same after this legal disaster? The future of Blake Lively's career and her relationship with Ryan Reynolds has never looked more uncertain. The courtroom drama is far from over, and the future of Blake Lively's career is uncertain. As more evidence comes to light, the stakes get higher, and the true story behind the It Ends With Us disaster may be more shocking than anyone imagined. What do you think? Will this mark the downfall of Blake Lively's career? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates on this explosive case.